So the Supreme Court has struck down the Trump-era ban on bump stocks. What does it mean for you? Let's find out. What's up, everyone out there in YouTube world, Facebook world, social media world, the world? So what are we talking about today? Well, breaking news. It's all over the interwebs. The Supreme Court has struck down the Trump-era ban on bump stocks. So let's just do this real quick. Everybody kind of knows what it is, but let's just run through it real quick to make sure we're all on the same page here. This is from the AP News. Everybody's got the same articles, so let's just go through it, all right? The Supreme Court on Friday struck down a Trump-era ban on bump stocks, the rapid-fire gun accessories used in the deadliest mass shooting in modern history, in a ruling that threw firearms back into the nation's political spotlight. The high court's conservative majority found that the Trump administration overstepped when it changed course from predecessors and banned bump stocks, which allow for a rate of fire comparable to machine guns. The decision came after a gunman in Las Vegas attacked a country music festival. We still don't know all the facts about that case, but anyway, it was after the shooting in Vegas, as we all knows. The ruling thrust back, blah, blah, blah. The 6-3 majority opinion written by Clarence Thomas found the Justice Department was wrong to declare that bump stocks transformed semi-automatic rifles into illegal machine guns because, he wrote, each trigger depression in rapid succession still only releases one shot. The rule reinforced the limits on executive reach, and two justices, conservative Samuel Alito and liberal Sonia Sotomayor, separately highlighted how action in Congress could potentially provide a more lasting policy if there was political will to act in a bipartisan fashion. So what does all this mean? Well, it means under federal law, the Trump-era ban no longer exists. So it was thrown out. Basically, what the justices said is that, one, the main thing is that they don't have the right, the executive branch, meaning Trump at the time, as much as I like Trump and everybody else likes Trump, this is one thing that most gun owners really hated about the Trump administration. But at the time, Trump, just through executive fiat, banned bump stocks. It didn't go through Congress. It wasn't a law passed. It was strictly executive fiat through Congress. And so people sued for it, said you can't do it that way, and it went to the Supreme Court. And what the Supreme Court ruled was what we all in the legal community knew was going to happen, is that you can't do it that way. You can't do it by executive fiat. Now, what they said is, and that last quote that I wrote you is, if it was a law that was passed, so if Congress passed a law, then that might uphold, that might withstand. Now, it still may not, because as I read you the side quote by Justice Thomas, he said that it doesn't convert it to a machine gun, so you can't put it under the NFA Act or ban it anyway. But that's a technical issue. The legal issue is that the executive branch can't just do it by fiat. It has to be passed through the legislature. So what that means is if Congress wanted to bring it up and pass a law, that would probably withstand constitutional muster. But as for right now, under federal law, you are allowed to go back to having a bump stock. Now, before you go scuba diving and find the bump stock that you lost in your boating accident 3.5 years ago, you need to check your state laws. What I mean by that is, as I said, the federal law has been struck down. However, many states passed individual laws inside their states banning bump stocks. For example, as everyone knows, I live in Florida. Here in Florida, despite it being the gunshine state and all these people who think we have these great, really pro-Second Amendment laws, the state of Florida passed a bump stock ban. So bump stocks are illegal in the state of Florida. So even if even though the federal government said that it's the Trump era ban, the federal ban was unconstitutional, or the way he did it was unconstitutional, so they threw it out, the state law still stands. So if you live in Florida, despite the federal ruling, you still cannot possess a bump stock. It's illegal in the state of Florida. So you'll be arrested and charged in the state of Florida for possession of a bump stock because they are illegal in the state of Florida. So before you get all excited and go putting your bump stocks back on or digging them up, yeah, like I said, find them from your boating accident or whatever, because technically nobody should have any because they were illegal. But before you do that, you need to check the laws of the state that you live in and make sure that your individual state has not passed their own separate bump stock ban. Because this did not say that the concept of a bump stock ban is unconstitutional under the Second Amendment. All this said was that the federal ban couldn't stand because they did it the wrong way. It was executive fiat and they didn't have the right to do it. So for right now, if you live in a state with a bump stock, you still cannot possess a firearm or possess that bump stock until somebody in the state that you live in challenges the state law as unconstitutional, and maybe that goes up to the Supreme Court and gets thrown out as unconstitutional on a state law level, and they just basically say bump stocks violate the second or don't violate the Second Amendment. But until then, make sure you check your state laws. But it is good news. It is a good ruling. It's something that we all kind of predicted was going to come up. The same type of ruling I suspect is going to come up sometime in the near future for stabilization braces and a lot of these other executive laws that Biden has been passing since he got in there. But the good news is Supreme Court upheld threw out the bump stock ban based on, again, a legal technicality. But hey, it's thrown out. It's thrown out. So thanks for watching. As always, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, comment down below. It really helps the algorithm. As a gun channel, I get screwed over by the YouTube algorithm all the time. So any sort of interaction with the community really helps out the channel. So please do that. In the meantime, thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay vigilant, and as always, carry on.